walk-off winner for the Fish on opening day. And it's cut on and missed. That thing is back, and it's gone. And this team is electric.
First hot show of 2026. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen on this 6th day of January. All shows on Marlins YouTube and Twitter. This is show 4 of 9. Peter Bendix, wheeling and dealing. We thought we were going to have a quiet Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. But oh, no. We've got a lot to discuss. Some A-section news stuff with Jack McMullen. We've got an awesome guest here tonight as well, Peter Fairbanks. He will headline the program. He has signed with the Miami Marlins, had an excellent year, the last actually 3 years with the Tampa Bay Rays. But, Jack, we'll open up here with it's January 6th. So what's the cutoff to New Year? Is it the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, or are you already over that? Because I'm still going to tell you Happy New Year.
Yeah, I think Larry David said on Curb Your Enthusiasm that the last day that you can wish someone a Happy New Year is January 4th. I don't necessarily adhere to that. I feel like that's a little early. I think that we are at the very last day. I think January 6th is probably the last day to wish somebody a Happy New Year. So, Steven, Happy New Year. I hope New Year's was great. I hope you enjoyed watching the Winter Classic. I know I did. But after today, I don't want you to wish me a Happy New Year ever again.
You got it, man. We will talk about the Winter Classic, which was a huge success in Love It or Leave It. But I do want to start. We've got a big-time Section 1. I mean, we really do. We've got a lot to chew off of. I want to start with key departures in this element of it because we got a couple of new guys that are coming to the Miami Marlins. We want to hit on those guys. But I want to first start with the two that were traded, and that was Dane Myers and Eric Wagman. And if there was a sad flute to be played right now, it would be this time that I would start to hear it, but I don't have that sound effect.
Yeah.
Dane Myers, I'll start there because I don't know if I can start with Eric Wagman because he's so close to my heart. I want to start here with Dane, who was traded to Cincinnati, 172 total games with the Marlins, 10 home runs, 59 RBIs, 245 across parts of 3 seasons with the Marlins. Let's start with the human element because it's important, I think, to highlight that. Great human being. His wife and kid traveled on almost every single trip. Dane was a guy after every game would sign kids' cleats, whatever it may be. He totally embraced that like role model-esque baseball player, which I can appreciate. And then on the field, man, he had a couple of really great moments. The LA Dodgers grand slam to tie things up probably headlines it. He's made some incredible catches. The one in Citi Field stuck out as well. But I guess we'll start here with Dane Myers, who, again, was traded to the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, Dane, I mean, we're going to miss Dane the guy, right? You're also going to miss Dane the defender because he was as electrifying a defender as we had and really as there is in Major League Baseball. This guy was a minor league pitcher, and then he was a minor league Rule 5 draft pick. That's one of the best minor league Rule 5 draft picks that we've seen in recent memory. So the fact that he's been able to carve out a major league role from being a minor league Rule 5 draft pick is amazing. And you mentioned, you know, his wife, his kid being around all the time, him being a universally loved teammate, being so good in that clubhouse. It's going to be sad to walk into that clubhouse at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium in Jupiter in February and not see Dane Myers. But, you know, all the best to him in Cincinnati. He joins, you know, a fun team in Cincinnati. He also goes to a fun ballpark for him. That's the most home run friendly ballpark in Major League Baseball. So wishing him the best, but, you know, obviously value was there to be had. And it felt like there were guys nipping at Dane's heels for playing time. This probably made sense in terms of roster construction.
And it was one of the better success stories in the organization. You had mentioned a former pitcher with the Detroit Tigers, converted, then was part of the Rule 5 draft that the Marlins selected him, and he came up in 23. I think the one thing you can't take away, I mean, look, the numbers are what they are. They're decent. But there was one thing that Dane brought every day to the ballpark, and there was an edge. There was an energy to him that, I don't know if that's necessarily common in baseball, but you always felt like Dane Myers was going to run through a wall, which he literally did at times. Yeah. And, again, I can't say enough great things. I don't know if you reach out to him. I exchanged a text with him. He's excited to go to Cincinnati, and I know he appreciated, the coverage that we gave him. So all the best of, the luck to Dane Myers.
No doubt.
The next one, I just take it. I'm not sure if I can get through this.
So Eric Wagaman was traded from the Marlins to the Minnesota Twins for a left-handed reliever, Cade Bragg. It's an exciting left-handed reliever. We're going to talk about Bragg momentarily, but Eric Wagaman departs. Eric Wagaman played north of 100 games for the Marlins this past year, a lot of them at first base, some of them in the corner outfield when they needed him in the corner outfield. Notably, Eric Wagaman gave the Miami Marlins their longest home run of the 2025 season.
Against Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, on August 17th in Boston against Garrett Crochet, who was the American League Cy Young runner-up. The ball 453 feet over the monster in left center field that bested Agustin Ramirez's blast from June 13th by 6 feet. So the only guy to go north of 450 feet for the Marlins in 2025. Wagatak is a Minnesota Twin after the trade.
Tough day for me. Really tough day. Hasn't sunk in yet. It's probably going to sink in once I get to Jupiter and I don't see that beautiful smile at his locker. Probably would have led to somewhat of a dab up into a hug. But Eric Wagaman, special human being. Many conversations on the bus. I hitched to his wagon very early in the season. I told you, watch out for this. Guy's got big time pop. Yeah. Was on a split deal with the Marlins, ended up getting a lot of PT. You had mentioned the numbers. This was extreme. I got a lot of texts. I did reach out to Wags. I wanted to give him space. He wanted to give me space. But in all seriousness, Eric Wagaman, one of the most genuine human beings probably I've ever met in baseball, Jack McMullen. I'm excited for him. He's off to Minnesota, but I can't say enough great things about, honestly, both these guys. Like Dane Myers, Eric Wagaman. They were a big part of what the Marlins did in 2025. And, this is an opportunity for them to get a little bit more runway. This was another position, I think, going into the offseason, Jack, that we felt like guys were going to start nipping at the heels of guys like Wags. I mean, we heard about Griffin Conine possibly going to play some first base. Who knows what it looks like at that position? I mean, as of right now, what is first base to Jack McMullen look like going into spring training? What's the rotation of potential players that's going to take that spot?
Yeah, so I think the first name that kind of leads the power rankings there is Christopher Morel, who the Marlins just signed to a 1-year, $2 million contract, a free agent deal. Christopher Morel will likely get the bulk first base reps, if I had to guess right now. I think Griffin Conine is going to get some run there. I wonder if there are some other guys that are going to try out first base. Maybe Connor Norby tries out some first base. Maybe Heriberto Hernandez could try out some first base. He certainly has, the profile of power to try first base. I wonder if Graham Pauley is going to play first at all. We saw Pauley play a little bit.
He could play a little bit everywhere. What about De Los Santos? De Los Santos feels like it has to be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, probably. And by the way, congratulations to Davison on the engagement. He got engaged the other day, so congratulations to him. It was a New Year's engagement, but yeah, Davison could certainly factor in. There are a couple other guys in the minor leagues that could factor in as well. But I would think that if it goes well in spring training, we would see for the majority a split between Morel and Griffin Conine at first base, and that could be a really, really fun platoon. But it's something that I know the Marlins were looking to upgrade at points this offseason. Hey, we probably need more production from first base, and they may feel like they have it.
So the positional side starting to clear up a little bit on this 6th day of January. Excited about the competition, though. I'm starting to feel it. And when I say it, I mean spring training. I mean Jupiter. I mean the whole shebang. I'm excited for it. I really am. Okay. The additions that the Marlins have added, we'll do Ethan O'Donnell. That was in exchange for Dane Myers, 23-year-old from Cincinnati. Got up to Double-A, but here he is, Ethan O'Donnell. What can you tell us about him, Jack?
Yeah, Ethan O'Donnell, former he was a Virginia Cavalier. He started his college career at Northwestern, then went to Virginia for his draft year, and he was really good in his draft year in 23. Before he was taken by Cincinnati, hit over 350, had 13 homers in 65 games. He comes out, his first full season of minor league baseball was 2024. He spent it all with High 8 Dayton as a 22-year-old. Hit just under 270, was 31 for 36 in the stolen base department, and had 10 homers. So you saw the power, speed, defense combination. This guy's tooled out, and he's incredibly physical and physically gifted. Took a step back in the power department this past year, also struggled a little bit in the batting average department, but he's at a much harder league to hit in The Southern League, which is the league that Pensacola is in, is far and away the most pitcher-friendly league in minor league baseball. And with AA Chattanooga, the Lookouts, which is the Reds affiliate, in 125 games, hit just under 240 and saw the home run total dip to below 10 at 7. But he did swipe 20 bags. What we know we're getting from Ethan O'Donnell is speed and defense, and that totally fits the mold of what Peter Bendix and Gabe Kapler and the rest of the baseball operations department identify.
You answered the question I was going to ask you. If you had to give me a notepad of why Bendix liked this guy, you just told me the speed and the defense. Next guy, Esteury Ruiz, who was claimed or actually was traded in exchange for minor league right-hander Adriano Marrero.
Yes.
Ruiz, speed, defense.
Yes.
What else you got for me, Jack?
I think a little bit stronger than a lot of people would give him credit for. Esteury Ruiz was one of the bigger names in the minor leagues a couple of years ago. This guy was ridiculous in minor league baseball in 2022, I want to say. In 22, he stole 85 bags in 114 games in the upper minors, 49 games in AA. And then he had a bunch of games in AAA as well. And oh, by the way, that year in the minor leagues, he hit 332 with 16 homers. He had a 974 OPS. First full year in the major leagues was 2023 with the then Oakland Athletics. Hit 254, but led Major League Baseball with 67 stolen bases. He really just hasn't found his footing at the big league level since that 2023 season. 24, he played 29 games with Oakland, and in 25, he didn't play a game in the big leagues, but he played over 100 games with the Dodgers AAA affiliate in Oklahoma City, and he was really good last year in Oklahoma City. In 104 games, he stole about 60 bases. He had a 925 OPS. He hit over 300, and he had 16 home runs. So I think the Marlins are betting on him showcasing that he is stronger than a lot of people around the league would give him credit for, him flashing that elite speed again. It's very John Birdie-ish, where if you give this guy enough games, he's going to be near the top of Major League Baseball in stolen bases. And you know that you get a couple of different positions that you can have him play defensively. He's a really, really gifted athlete, and you're just hoping that he hits enough at the major league level.
So you say John Birdie. I think for our John Birdie is Javier Sanoja. What's the path to playing time for someone like Ruiz? Is he going to be a AAA guy? Is he going to get some ABs? What's the role you think for 26 with him?
I would think he totally fits the mold of fourth outfielder, where he spends a lot of time in the major leagues, but we'll play not sparingly, but we'll play in the right spots. And I only meant Birdie from a base stealing production standpoint.
Sure, yeah.
Birdie, like, it was hyper utility. He could play pretty much everywhere, right? He was on the dirt for the most part. Ruiz is going to be in the outfield. He's not going to play the infield. But when you know this guy is in the game, he is a threat to steal second and maybe steal third. So he's got that kind of game-wrecking speed that very, very few have in Major League Baseball, but probably as a fourth outfielder, I wouldn't expect him to play 140 games, but I wouldn't expect him to play 30 games. I would expect him to be somewhere healthily in between.
All right, so Peter Bendix lands Ruiz and O'Donnell. The last one we got to get to, and this was an exchange for Eric Wagaman, was minor league reliever Cade Bragg. 24 years old, 17-round pick by the Twins in the 2023 draft. He pitched effectively in relief at 3 levels for the organization in Minnesota in 2025. He struck out 82 batters in 67 and a third innings pitched, and he kind of throws like Ryan Weathers.
Yeah, credit to Fish on First for identifying that. They were like, let's throw the side-by-side video together. This is eerily similar. This is a guy that I'm sure Bill Hiesel, the Marlins director of pitching, Daniel Boskus, the Marlins big league pitching coach, and the rest of the pitching crew, as Clayton McCullough likes to call him, identified and said, you know what? This is a left-handed reliever that we could see a high carry fastball blossom with, and we could see a really good secondary pitch blossom with. So they got, and Eric Wagaman, by the way, before he was traded, was designated for assignment to make room for Esteury Ruiz. For a guy that was in DFA limbo, you get a reliever that punched out 11 hitters per 9 last year. That's a really impressive get for a guy that was kind of a sitting duck in that in-between roster area. I would say the upside down, although I'm not sure if you watched the Stranger Things series finale or anything like that. Really good. I thought it was really good.
Never watched. Never gave it a chance. I won't say I'm out on it. Never gave it a chance.
I loved it. I loved it. One of my favorite shows of all time. But Cade Bragg, strikeout artist, was older for the levels that he pitched at in 2025. Excited to see how he kind of grows in the Marlins minor league ranks, because they've done such a good job of identifying guys that can flourish in the right situation. And I look at that Pensacola bullpen, man, like Josh Eknes threw out of his mind in 25. Nigel Belgrave threw out of his mind in 2025. They had so many other guys. We just added 2 to the 40-man roster, one of which, Josh White, was incredible. Why can't Cade Bragg be that next guy?
If you are a Marlins fan, these trades that I think 95% of the time you roll your eyes at, I think Peter Bendix has now built up the credibility. When you do trade for someone, I'm not telling you Cade Bragg is going to be the next Cade Gibson. They just have the same name. They spell it differently. But the Marlins have now put out a strong sample size of substance that they can identify, particularly arm talent, Ronnie Enriquez, Calvin Fauché, whoever it may be, that these trades are like, okay. And I think that there's a little bit of a feel coming to Miami where it's like, man, this guy didn't figure it out, but I know that this pitching group and this organization is going to get them right.
There is no such thing as an eye roll transaction in the Peter Bendix era for Miami Marlins baseball. I want to make that very clear. Every single time this guy makes a move, he has confidence that what he gets is a surplus. It is going to be a net
not
positive
just throw-ins,
value.
correct.
Yeah, it's not going to be an eye roll deal. It's not going to be a ho-hum deal. Those guys have a chance to boom. Jacob Marcy, you can make the argument, was the third piece of that Arise deal, and look at Marcy now.
Well, we do have some bad news followed up with good news.
Yeah.
Ronnie Enriquez, this is a bummer. Underwent Tommy John surgery and will miss the 2026 season. Ronnie was, if not for Kyle Stowers and Edward Cabrera, maybe the MVP of this Marlins team in 2025. 7-1, a 2.22 ERA, 73 innings, 26 holds, 7 saves, and a team-high 69 outings. His 98 strikeouts were tied with then Mets closer Edwin Diaz for second amongst National League relievers last year. Ronnie Enriquez out for the year. Our guest, and it's good timing here, Peter Fairbanks, kind of softens the blow. But, man, this is a bummer. Like, not only was Ronnie Enriquez essential to the success, but he was so darn fun to watch, whether it was the 6th inning, the 5th inning, or the 9th inning.
Yeah, I mean, you spent too much time around me in 25, and you know how much of a soft spot I had for Ronnie Enriquez. That guy might have been like, I don't want to pick favorites. You clearly picked one at the outset, and it was Eric Wagman. But I feel like if I had to pick a favorite, it was probably Ronnie Enriquez in 25, because they got this guy on the DFA waiver wire. Like, it was amazing. Minnesota, we talked to one of their announcers, and he said they felt like his spot was accounted for in Minnesota. Let me just read you the leaderboard of strikeouts among relievers in Major League Baseball. You mentioned Jeremiah Estrada was number 1 at 108 punch-outs. Brian Abreu in Houston, number 2. Cade Smith, the closer in Cleveland, number 3. Mason Miller, the Reaper, number 4. Edwin Uceta in Tampa, number 5. And then it was Edwin Diaz and Ronnie Enriquez. Okay? This guy was 7th among all relievers in punch-outs, and he was too shy of 100 strikeouts out of the bullpen for the Miami Marlins. To grab an 100 strikeout reliever after he was DFA'd a month before the season began, that's as big a win on the waiver wire as you could possibly find around Major League Baseball in the last couple of years, not just 2025. So loved watching Ronnie. Going to be so excited to watch him again in 27. Sad we won't get to watch him in 26. But I oohed and ahed at every single data point when that guy threw a fastball or a sweeper or a changeup, and I'm excited to do that again in about a year.
Well, it's what makes baseball so special, because a guy at 5'9", 5'10" is blowing past guys like Bryce Harper, and the Marlins are going to have to find, whether it's our next guest or not, a guy that can come in and play fireman. You actually that was your nickname for him, because he came in the 4th inning, the 5th inning, the 6th inning, and took on the meat of the order, whether guys were on or not. And Ronnie Enriquez finished with a high WAR for obviously a relief pitcher. But now the Marlins are going to have to search for that guy. I know they're confident in their bullpen. And I do want to get to Peter Fairbanks now because it was like, oh my gosh, this is such a bummer with Ronnie Enriquez. And it still is, to at least like, all right, like, we just got Pete Fairbanks. Like, Pete Fairbanks is legit. He has now spent time with the, Tampa Bay Rays and pitched at a high level, at least for the last 3 years. It makes sense, the connection with Peter Bendix. What was your reaction when the Marlins went out and signed Peter Fairbanks?
Well, you got to promise me one thing before I give you my reaction. You never call him Peter again. He was pretty adamant. I'm Pete. I'm not Peter. So Pete Fairbanks it is.
Pete.
Sorry, Pete Fairbanks. My reaction was, this is awesome. I would have been doing backflips if Ronnie wasn't hurt. I still was doing backflips. It's just like bittersweet backflips, if that's such a thing. Like, oh, no, I'm sad, but let me do a backflip real quick.
Sure.
This was a good backfill, I guess, to the absence of Ronnie Enriquez, but it's so much more than a backfill. This guy has been one of the best and most trusted closers in Major League Baseball over the last half decade. He debuted with the Texas Rangers. He quickly made his way over to Tampa. And what they found in this guy was quintessential Tampa. It was quintessential Eric Ander and Peter Bendix. It was big guy, unorthodox slot, unorthodox delivery that throws the ball exceptionally hard and has a slider working off of that. He is so much fun to watch throw the baseball. He has been a tried and true ninth inning guy for the Tampa Bay Rays. And we'll see how the Marlins go about using Pete Fairbanks this year. Is it tried and true ninth inning, or is it, hey, Harper's up in the seventh, go get him, big guy? I think it's probably going to skew towards the latter because that's what we saw this new regime do. Clayton McCullough, the rest of the pitching coaching staff, that's what they saw. That's what we saw them do in 2025. And I think Pete Fairbanks is really excited to do that. And you got this guy at a 1-year deal. It's awesome. The market materialized in favor of the Marlins, and Pete Fairbanks gets to reunite with Peter Bendix. And he's clearly, and you will hear this momentarily, very excited to join a young, exciting team.
Pete Fairbanks is the smiley face on the box of unorthodox Tampa Bay Rays pitchers that, again, is headed to Miami. Thing I like about him is that he has pitched in big games, Jack. He not only, and I'm not talking about just the postseason, the AL East is a gauntlet. You just faced a team that was just in the World Series in the Toronto Blue Jays. You are going to Yankee Stadium and facing that lineup, Aaron Judge and Carlos Stanton, all those guys, the Boston Red Sox. It's not some cupcake division that I don't get to watch late at night. Pete Fairbanks is on every single night in prime time, whether it's New York, whether it's Boston, Baltimore, who just loaded up. We don't have to get into that now. But that AL East, I love that he comes to Miami with some grit, with some equity, with some experience against some tough teams. And welcome. This is the NL East now. The Philadelphia Phillies, Atlanta Braves, who are going to revamp, the New York Mets, and the Washington Nationals, who are making moves slowly but surely.
Yes.
Okay. You ready for Pete? Let's get into
Not Peter. I'm ready for Pete.
All right. Before we get to Pete, you know what we have to do. We got some messages for you folks. Opening day is right around the corner, and we want you to join us at Lone Depot Park on Friday, March 27th. It's going to be a 7:10 first pitch. It's the Marlins. It's the Rockies. 79 wins last year. Marlins are going to break out here in 2026. This squad is going to be led by Sandy Alcantara, Kyle Stowers, Yuri Perez. Hey, if you're lucky, you might see Sandy and Yuri on the same weekend, on opening weekend, and the rest of your fighting fish. Also, stick around after the win. I'm saying it's going to be a win, opening day win, for an electric post-game fireworks show. Secure your tickets today at marlins.com/opening day.
Hey, Fish fans, if you're like me, you are absolutely giddy for opening day and for the Marlins to be back in action. Our first taste of the Fish being back in action, that comes on Saturday, February 7th, well before opening day at 4 o'clock with Marlins Fan Fest. It's presented by ADT. Come meet your favorite players, walk our beautiful ballpark, play interactive games, and end the night with an amazing fireworks display. You might even have time to stop by the Blue Moon Brew Hall and catch the Marlins Radio live show. Highly recommend you do. Claim your free ticket at marlins.com/fanfest, and we'll see you there.
Okay, the man of the hour, Pete Fairbanks. Don't call him Peter. He's with us now. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen. Again, welcome into the first episode of the 2026 Hot Stove Show. And I want to start here with you, Pete. I had this written down. Eccentric, seemingly authentic, interesting, raw, and stellar bullpen piece. All things that I'm assuming because I've never met you before. Am I missing any other characteristics that you'd like to add to that?
No, that's pretty good. I like that you led with eccentric. I think that's a good lead off for that, you know. Just throw it. Hey, it's a weird guy. This guy a little weird.
So follow up on that. Have you interacted with Tyler Phillips yet? Have you had a conversation there? Because as soon as you
Tyler
signed,
Phillips and I played minor league baseball together.
Good.
I know all about Tyler
Texas,
Phillips.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now he wasn't slapping himself.
Didn't used to slap himself. I don't. That's a new. That's. I don't. You're gonna have.
What
to
do you
let me
think
collect-
about
You're
that,
gonna have
Pete?
to let me collect my thoughts on that because I don't. I don't.
Did that surprise you when you saw that go viral?
Yes. Not that it went viral. That's the type of action that goes viral. But like, I was very surprised to like I feel like that's like a PR in the weight room in college where people are all screaming at you and somebody slaps your back as hard as they can. Everybody knows about the Ken Giles punch in the face. This one, I would have I feel like that's a post outing thing. But hey, whatever gets your juices flowing.
100%. Another follow up here. We are on the heels of the holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever people may be celebrating. You are a big time Lego man. Were
That's
Legos acquired over the holiday season? And quick follow up on that. What is your prized build? Like, do you have a certain Lego build that you hold in high regard?
So I'll do both my son and I for our Lego holiday. Because my son's birthday is on the 23rd. So it's right around Christmas, right? So we can do it. We're building the Great Deku Tree, Legend of Zelda, right now.
Okay.
We have a Republic Juggernaut, the turbo tank from Episode 3 that needs to be built. We have the Coruscant Guard, the Republic gunship that needs to be built. We have a Star Destroyer that needs to be built, and we have the X-Men School for the Gifted mansion that also needs to be built.
Nice.
And as far as prized possessions, I'll say my favorite thing that I've built recently was the gingerbread themed AT-AT that came out like right before Christmas. So we built that, and that was our prized Christmas decoration for the year.
Cool. Nice.
That's very impressive. I didn't get Legos for Christmas, but I did get an early Christmas gift, and that's Pete Fairbanks. 1 year, $13 million to the Miami Marlins. I want to start here with you, man. Seriously, I mean, you just turned 32, 25, 23, 27 saves. You're coming off a career high 61 appearances. What are the Marlins getting as a player and as a person?
Hopefully a productive back end arm. That's yeah. I'm not one to toot my own horn unless it's randomly telling my wife that I'm the best whenever I beat her or succeed in like really small menial tasks. But yeah, I mean, I think that I am who I am at this point, right? I'm gonna hopefully go out there and get outs when they matter, and hopefully reward and make your Christmas present last for however many appearances it happens to be this year.
Pete, I'm sure this process over the last 2-ish months has been weird for you and maybe frustrating at points, but also exciting at points. Why did this process keep coming up Marlins? Why were the Marlins your final decision? And how often do you feel like they kind of entered the forefront of your mind?
Well, there's two important reasons, and then we'll get to the real one. The first one, I couldn't stand to play for a team that didn't have a fish mascot in some capacity. The second is that I needed a kith to be in my city of residence for the upcoming year.
And that's it.
And that's no other. No, I liked Mostas, McCullough, everybody that was on our kind of meeting call, and then after kind of getting my ideas about that, I had a really good call with Bendix, and it seemed like his estimation of where the org is headed and my estimation from the outside really matched up, and it seemed like one, both a good fit to be able to go back and see my wife and our third kid and family whenever I can throughout the year. And second, like the baseball fit and everything just made sense. So yeah, I think that there were a lot of things that the more we talked about it, the more sense it made. And we started seeing more and more pros. And, we ended up getting a deal done that we're excited about and very much excited to head into this year.
Journalism sin right here, Jack and Pete, asking two questions in one. What do you remember from Peter Bendix with your time with the Rays? And did you have a feeling that he could be in this position one day?
Yes, 100%. I think the Rays executive tree is just spreading far and wide as it has for a while. Um, and yeah, I mean he's good, right? The ability is to find talent, get talent, and take a blueprint that he was very much a part of, and then apply it. What 200 miles south? I don't know the exact mileage count, but I think that the capabilities are there, and I think that he's a great a great mind and person to put that all into place.
Pete, I know you just talked about this during your media availability with other writers and reporters, but you were asked about. I don't want to call it unorthodox because you have plenty of teams doing it now, the closer by committee type of deal, and you're one of those guys that has 75 saves over the last 3 years. You have been handling the ninth, and you've been getting outs 25 through 27 for the Tampa Bay Rays over the last couple of years. We didn't really see a true ninth inning guy for the Marlins last year. It was, hey, if the top of the order is due up in the seventh inning, you're going to go get them. It's really forecasted last time you see these guys. And, when you were asked that, you said, I know I'm going to be handling leverage. Is that an opportunity that excites you? Is it something that you needed convincing to do to possibly just be a bullpen ace and not necessarily a ninth inning closer by the book?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not married to anything in the game, right? If you get married to one thing in baseball, it feels like a great way to not end up playing anymore. Unless you're on track to be a Hall of Famer and whatever role that might be. So yeah, I'm sure that I will get outs 25 to 27, but I'm sure that I might also get outs 22 to 24. It's and 20 to 20. Like I think that there's some variability to that, and am I, as long as I'm able to get my prep done and time everything up from the training room to my warm up to getting to the bullpen and getting ready to roll, whether it ends up being 7, whether it ends up 8, whether it ends up 9, I think as long as the body's prepped, I'm not in any worry as to where it'll be.
So what another interesting dynamic I think that Pete will bring to this team is you're a vet now, man. Like you're a vet on this team. The Marlins are relatively young, and I think we've talked about this too, Jack, just with the coaches. It's a lot more hands-on. It's a lot more development. But at this point in your career, man, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. What were some of those initial conversations with Moskis? Like, what are you looking to either tweak, maintain, or hone in on going into 26?
Yeah, I mean, we talked for a little bit on the phone yesterday just to get everything squared away. I mean, it's just, for me, it's just executing a little bit better, I think, and continuing to throw the good stuff and mix the cutter in and have that good blend and be able to really, like that clip was, get the ball above the zone, get the ball below the zone, and get a lot of outs. So I liked what Mostas was bringing to the table, and I'm very excited to be able to get to work here.
Do you go to a scary place on the mound? Like, what's going through your head right now? I'm sorry for our audio audience.
I wouldn't say a scary place. I don't know. I like to compete, whether it's baseball, whether it's playing Battleship against my son, which I've been doing a lot of over the over the holidays here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a scary place. I think I can be a little off my rocker at times, but who can't?
Yeah. I am curious, can I get the origin of the delivery? Because it's one of the more unorthodox deliveries that we've got in baseball, where you're a big guy and then all of a sudden it looks like you're almost shot putting it and then super over the top. Is that how you've always felt comfortable throwing a baseball, or did that blossom at a certain point in your career?
No, so I used to throw the ball like a buffoon. And then I got both fortunate and unfortunate to spend a full. So I had TJ in end of 17, so I had all of 18 to basically rework it.
And
I
that
was
was
like,
your
I want to
second,
be,
right? You had Tommy John
yeah.
in high
I was
school?
like, I want to be, yes. I was like, I want to be close. I want it to be, not a ton of elbow flexion, not a, get the core a little bit more stacked, etc. And just kind of blossomed into that tight elbow flexion, pull the elbow back a little bit, and then I think I've always kind of been over the top once um, that those changes got made, and we were able to turn it into a little bit unorthodox, but a little bit effective at the same time.
What does throwing like a buffoon look like?
You have to go find clips. I don't know if minor league True Media will go all the way back to like 2016. But I was gangly and not a lot of core control, and it was not a pleasant sight.
Maybe some SEC Network Plus from your
Yeah,
time.
you
at
might have to
University.
go call up Ben McDonald, see if he can find it, since he's always. I know he did a few of our games in college.
That's great. Pete Fairbanks, I am curious. You were the Rays Roberto Clemente Award nominee this year. Obviously, community impact is something that you cherish and something that you value very, very highly. Where's your level of excitement when it comes to getting involved with the South Florida community? Because obviously the Tampa community loves you and will continue to love you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as Lyd and I have always said, that's just something that's expected of us. Going to be a little bit different to try and plan everything and get her down here postpartum, etc. To make all that happen.
Congrats,
Will I
by the
have
way.
to? Thank you. Will I have
Yeah.
to learn how to be a little bit better logistically? Probably. But we're very excited to get acclimated to the South Florida scene, and to hopefully while it was probably gonna be a short time, but be able to leave a little bit of an impact while we're here.
2 questions left here for Pete Fairbanks, and however many Jack wants to go, we'll keep him for another 3 hours. Pete, we talked about Bendix. Bendix, Calvin Fauché. Is there anyone else in Tyler Phillips? Is there anyone else that you're familiar with or played ball with in the minors that you'd like to share some stories on?
No, I think that's it. But I mean, Calvin called me in the middle of my workout yesterday, and I'm on the aux, right? Because why would I not be? Goes silent. I'm like, who in the world is calling me? It's Calvin Fauché. Great. Hey, Calvin. Yeah, this is Calvin Fauché from the Miami Herald. I'm just here to call for a little media. I'm like, Calvin, your name popped up in bright white letters that it's you. What do you want? So yes, Calvin is. I've known Calvin for quite a while, and he is. I need to see if he's still doing this, where he claps his hands and then rubs them together really fast.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Calvin's great. It'll be nice to have a couple familiar faces there to acclimate.
Now, can I ask what is on the aux for a Pete Fairbanks workout? Because I know that I've seen on your Instagram a couple of unique music choices. I feel like it's not your standard clubhouse music.
Can we guess?
Yeah, you're welcome to guess, and I'll tell you what I had on yesterday.
What genre, or is that a giveaway? Are we doing artist or genre?
Whatever you guys want to do. I'm always down for a little guessing game.
I mean, isn't it a lot of like the Strokes adjacent type of stuff?
Kind of. There's some that I would say are Strokes adjacent. That's not what was on yesterday, though.
Got it.
I think that Pete could go like rap. I think he could go like workout. Like Calvin
Eric
calls him. He's listening to like.
I'm actually thinking like 90s Eric B and Rakim, like that kind of stuff.
Got to go a little bit older, but yeah, we were listening yesterday. I had on a lot of like late 2000s hip hop.
Sure.
Which is my
Who
sweet spot.
Qualified for that?
Wayne. There's a lot of Wayne, some Mac Miller, and some Wiz. Nice. Is what was on a good chunk of the day yesterday.
Good. I approve. Last one for you. We're kind of bouncing around, obviously, but I do want to get serious for one more, man. Just what excites you about a team that, obviously is coming off, I think, 78, 79 wins. And, whether people like it or not, they definitely took a big jump in the right direction. And just your feelings towards joining this team and playing for, Clayton McCullough and company.
They used to be a lot of fun. The vibe that I've gotten off everybody is really good, and I'm excited to, you know, hopefully get a firsthand experience to watch, this really good young position core take that next step. And obviously, with the guys that are rolling out there every fifth day, that should be a lot of fun to watch. So hopefully we can do our part down in the bullpen to, contribute to that next jump. But yeah, I'm very excited to be a part of it, and I'm very excited to be able to watch these guys every day from the same side after having to see them on the other side while we were there.
Pete, along that line of thinking, last one from me. You show up to Jupiter, pitchers and catchers report. Who is the first pitcher that you are identifying and saying, hey, I have a burning question to ask you? Is it Yuri in a fastball question? Is it Sandy in a question?
I don't think I'm more of an observer than a questioner. I'm just excited to see all those guys throw their side sessions and see if those are as electric as they are in game. So yeah, I'm sure that I'll have to. I think it was Yuri that he and I were battling for the hardest changeup in baseball for a little bit. So maybe we'll have a little changeup off whenever we get down there.
Cool.
Pete, thank you so much, man. So excited to watch you play. So excited to meet you in Jupiter, and we really do appreciate you taking the time. Cheers to 2026. We're so fired up that not only you joined us, but you're also joining the organization, man. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, on the other side, we got more Love It or Leave It, Marlins Hot Stove Show.
Well, nothing gets a baseball fan going quite like opening day, and the 2026 Marlins season is sure to start off with a bang. Join us at Lone Depot Park on Friday, March 27th at 7:10 p.m. for opening day baseball under the lights. Coming off a 79-win campaign in 2025, the Fish open the year playing host to the Colorado Rockies, and the night will conclude with an epic post-game fireworks show. Don't wait. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/opening day.
Hey, Marlins fans, we are all about ringing in the new year, and you can do that with the Fish on February 7th at our place, Lone Depot Park. It's the place to be for Fan Fest presented by ADT. It is, again, February 7th from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. You can meet your favorite Marlins. You can listen to your favorite radio program, Jack and I, of course, and you can walk your favorite ballpark and end the night with an epic fireworks show. Start the season off right. Claim your free ticket today at marlins.com/fanfest. Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking about FanFest today. I actually talked to the boss, John Eric, and we were talking about hotel stuff. We were talking about spring training. I mean, it's coming quickly as we enter 2026. Big thanks to Pete Fairbanks again, Steven Strom, Jack McMullen as we go onward. Okay, I wrote down this because I wanted to back up what I said. Because I don't care if the guy plays the Yankees, he plays the Blue Jays, he plays the Red Sox and struggle. I want to have some substance behind this bad boy, Jack McMullen.
Yep.
Vlad Guerrero, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
2 for 13, 6 punchies. Aaron Judge, he's all right. 2 for 10. Stanton, 1 for 7. Springer, 0 for 6. Bichette, 2 for 11 against Pete Fairbanks this year. I'm good. That's good for me. High leverage. Opponents hitting 178, OPS 575. Jack McMullen, be our baseball savant here. What is the pitch for Fairbanks? Give us some, I guess, metrics that stand out to you about him.
Yeah, I mean, there's two of them. Like, in terms of pitches, it's a four-seam slider combo that's one of the best out of any bullpen in Major League Baseball. And the four-seamer is that true ride, carry, four-seam fastball.
Like Ronnie.
And he's such an interesting attack from the pitcher's mound where, again, I sort of kind of walked through it with him. He looks like he's shot putting the baseball. Like, it's almost right next to his right ear, like he's a quarterback throwing a football. And then he just releases and has this super over-the-top delivery from somebody that is already incredibly tall. He's listed at 6'6", 235. And when you have that high arm angle and that carry fastball, you're going to miss over the top of a lot of swings. So you're going to get a lot of swings and misses, and you're going to get a lot of pop-ups, and that's what his fastball has done historically. He is 90%, and he was 90% in 2025, four-seam or slider. He was 51% four-seam that sat 97, and then the slider sits 85. And it is like this tight downer slider. Some people call it a gyro slider, where it's not this huge sweeping pitch. Instead, it's just this baby dart underneath back.
Similar to Tanner Scott's arsenal in a way a couple years ago, or different?
Little different because Scott is a little bit more of like the east to west guy. He gets down on the mound a heck of a lot better versus Fairbanks, who is that vertically inclined north and south guy. So think about him. I don't really have a good comp that I can throw your way right now, but I'm just telling you, like north and south guy, which means top of the zone with a fastball, bottom of the zone. That's what
he was talking about with the cutter in that video. He's saying if my cutter gets out of the zone, up in the zone, that's a good sign.
Yes, exactly, because then you get the swing underneath it. So he is very good at not the handle or the end of the bat, but missing above or below the bat. And the strikeout numbers back that up. Until the last couple of years, we saw the strikeout numbers diminish. It seems like that's more of a command thing than anything, like an execution type of deal with the good pitches. I would expect, given what we know about the Marlins and their ability to tweak pitches within an arsenal, I would expect that strikeout rate to be right back where it was in 22 and 23 when he was striking out about 12 hitters per nine.
You asked him about the leverage stuff, if he cares 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th. I'm looking at the Marlins bullpen right now, and I don't even know if this is a waste of time to rank the leverage situations because I think so much of it is contextual to the situation, what guys are like with runners on, what guys are like historically against this guy. But I have this as the hierarchy, and I want you to come back and let me know what you think. Number one, Peter Fairbanks, I would assume, would be the number one leverage guy.
The only pushback is his name isn't Peter, it's Pete.
Pete, thank you. Pete Fairbanks. Number two, this is like hierarchy 2. Anthony Bender, Lake Bacher, Tyler Phillips. Tier 3, I have Calvin Fauché, Cade Gibson, and I hope Andrew Nardi is going to pitch because I think you're really going to enjoy him. But are you okay with that order, that hierarchy?
I would probably throw Fauché into tier 2 because we saw Fauché handle the 9th a lot, and this guy still has Looney Tunes stuff. I mean, the cutter, the sweeper, everything is crazy, and it darts like crazy, and it's a matter of execution for Calvin Fauché. So I feel like if you add one more to tier 2, that makes a lot of sense. But I'm wholeheartedly with you that like Pete Fairbanks is undoubtedly the tier 1 guy. And they're paying him to be the tier 1 guy. They're paying him to handle optimal leverage. And I think that he would have shared tier 1 with Ronnie Enriquez, but unfortunately, Ronnie's out for the year. So Pete Fairbanks alone in tier 1. I think Bender, the way he threw last year, could absolutely fit into tier 1 at points. I also think that it may not matter, and we play the pocket game, right? Oh, whose arsenal best matches up against this third of the lineup? We won't figure that out for a month or two into the regular season. I think by like May 15 or June 1, we had this abstract idea of who makes sense in the right spot. And then by the deadline or by like August 15th, we knew, okay, against this third of the lineup, this guy is coming in. I feel like that's going to be a similar timeline pretty much every year.
Very good. Very good. Again, big thanks to Pete Fairbanks for joining the program. Let's get into it. Our first Love It or Leave It of 2026. Well, music, because we have a video clip, and awesome for our audio audience that's going to get to listen to it. Winter Classic was a huge success. Congratulations to everyone at Lone Depot Park. They did just an exquisite job of turning a baseball stadium into a hockey venue. The images were incredible. And it's one of those things, Jack, where the game is secondary. Like the Panthers-Ranger game, the score is so secondary. It's an event. It's bigger than the actual score. And I'm so happy that South Florida was in the news for something like this with the sport of hockey. And it's been pretty tough to ignore them after what the Florida Panthers have done. But this is just another really cool wrinkle to add to South Florida possibly being an up-and-coming hockey town.
And Lone Depot Park becoming that multi-event year-round type of place. And I know that's something that, the folks within the Marlins organization really want to see happen. They want to see this place shine, whether it's, the Chris Brown concert at the Breezy Bowl, or whether it's, a monster truck event or the Winter Classic. Nobody thought this was doable, to your point. So tip of the cap to Anthony Favada and his team. Just an amazing job. I got to watch it, and the broadcast was immaculate, and they captured, I feel like, the essence of the game. And to be there, for it to snow in a venue in South Florida, come on. If the question is love it or leave it, the Winter Classic, I'm loving it 100 times over.
That would be a stupid love it or leave it.
Yeah.
I've got a video, and we're going to dissect our love it or leave it's.
Cool.
As much as the broadcast captured the moment, so did our social team. Here's Xavier Edwards and Griffin Conine ringside at the Winter Classic.
You ever see yourself playing hockey? You said you wanted it. What if they brought power play to baseball? What do you think about that? Like pitch clock violation, like an infielder, go to the bench. Take an infielder out. It'd be kind of dope. It'd actually be kind of fire. I kind of would like that. Which one are you getting rid of, though? You get to pick? You got to keep first base. You got to keep first base. Yeah, you have to keep first. I'm taking out like shortstop for sure. Taking short? Tap a ground ball.
Barkov and Jones.
Let's go. Comeback starts. Here we go. It's just a power play. Here we go. Power play goes, baby. I wonder how they know when to come on and off. I know, it's crazy. There's no whistle, there's no timeout, there's nothing like that. That's why hockey's elite. This came together really nice. Soul Stadium and everything, it came together nice. Yeah. They killed it. Hockey in South Florida with the roof open. Little beach over here. I feel like it's after seeing this, hockey hardest sport. I don't see how it. I mean, yeah, baseball is hard. Right. It is not this. It's just like hitting a baseball is. Yeah. The hardest. Is hard. Yeah, like that skill alone is the hardest. But this is just insane.
All right, Griffin Conine, Xavier Edwards, some good dialogue there. We'll start love it or leave it. Sorry, Griffin. Power play in baseball.
Love Griff. Leave that idea.
I don't even know. I guess so. If there's a pitch clock violation, Javier Sanoja has to go to the dugout. Who selects what position is going out of the game?
For one pitch, for one at bat. Hey, listen, Griff, come to me with a plan.
Yes.
And we'll discuss. And I want you to start your pitch by saying, hello, Sharks. And then we'll entertain it. But right now, I'm leaving the power play in baseball. I feel like there are too many moving parts to have a power play in baseball.
They've done enough to speed up the game and make it more offensive-minded.
Yeah.
Love you, Griff. We're leaving the idea.
Yeah.
The second conversation that I pose to you is hockey the hardest sport?
Did you grow up ice skating?
I did.
I didn't. So I feel like your answer would skew more towards no than mine.
Hardest thing to do in sports versus hardest sport is a different thing. Hardest sport is hockey, I think. Hardest thing to do in sports, I still think is hitting a baseball. I still think it is. I still think standing in a batter's box and watching 99 whiz by your face and then gearing up for it and trying your best to stay on speed and then dropping like a curveball in the dirt or something like that, I think is cruel. Hockey, I would argue the second hardest thing to do in sports actually is play quarterback and then hockey goalie. That would probably be my hierarchy. So I'm actually going to leave that as well, Xavier Edwards. So sorry for the big leaguers. We're throwing you to the side, but I'm going to leave that. So I still think that hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, in the words of James Carville on the movie Old School, I have no response. That was perfect. I agree with you entirely. I think the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a baseball. I think, they were cooking with that one when they said that for the first time 100 years ago. But hardest sport, when you factor in that you have to do everything in hockey while standing on these little things that are holding your feet about a foot above ice, which is already slippery to begin with.
We should have Minervini on for this hit.
100%. By the way, congrats to Craig on reffing 3 games at Lone Depot Park on Monday. He had a great time doing that, I know. The fact that you have to do all of it on ice skates, I will say hardest sport, but hardest thing to do in sports, I don't think anything in hockey passes hitting a baseball.
I would agree with you. Okay, love it or leave it. How about Clayton McCullough delivering an all-time speech at East Carolina and sending off these young individuals into the real world?
Commencement address at East Carolina for their December graduation. I love his getup for that. It's pretty funny to see like the floppy toad hat that he was wearing and the cap and gown. So we were both COVID grads. Did you ever walk for your college graduation?
I didn't. I was down actually here in Miami when I got an email and they said, hey, we're going to walk during the summer if you want to head on up to Jersey and join us. I said, I'm good.
So I got an email, hey, we're going to walk in the fall of 2021. I said, the Fort Wayne Tin Caps are playing the Dayton Dragons, so I'm gonna stay there and just go to work on that September night. So you and I both didn't walk for a graduation, but if Clayton McCullough was our commencement speaker, I think we would have adjusted the schedule and made sure to be there. So I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. You got any love it or leave it for me?
Love it or leave it. Returning a gift you get over the holiday season.
Can't answer because it's not specific enough. If it's your mother-in-law, I'm taking it. If she got me, a box of matches, I'll say thank you very much. Gracias.
So out of principle, I don't think I could ever return a gift.
Really? Well, hold on. I mean, what if it's like out of size? What if it's not
then
right?
You swap it in, but like I'm going to get the same darn thing. It's not like, when you get the cop out of, if you don't like it, you can exchange it for something else that you like from the store. I don't like that. I think you have to just keep the thing that they gave you.
Okay.
So I leave returning gifts.
It totally depends for me on the person. Like my mom got me, a button-down shirt that I'm not sure if she was intoxicated when she bought it, or I'm not really sure. And she knew it. She said,
"You don't save yourself with the love you mom real quick."
I love my mom so much. Great time at the comedy club. Me and her. I got her tickets. Experience holiday bundle and the comedy show down in Point Pleasant.
Good. Yeah,
I said there's no way.
I think it's a little bit more black and white for me. Like I just don't think I can return a gift that someone.
I totally understand. I think it's contextual to the person, but I digress. Yeah. If it's someone that is, mother-in-law or honestly even sisters are a little bit more on the sensitive side, I would, I hope they're not listening to this. I'd say, yeah, this Frisbee is awesome.
Yeah. It's my favorite Frisbee
ever.
Out there. I don't think I've ever seen a better Frisbee before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it or leave it. A baseball game next month.
Holy buckets.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. My telltale sign was after the Super Bowl, but I don't know. I'm itching. I'm really itching. I'm very excited. I love it.
Good, man. Good. That's what I got for you.
You love it?
Yeah, of course. That's all I do with my time. I love it. I love this stuff.
All right, very good. I do want to get into one thing here before we say so long, because we could be back at this week if a certain domino drops. And we don't want to be totally ignorant to some of the rumors that are rumors from people that start rumors, and they are rumors. Edward Cabrera, his name is being floated around to certain teams. I don't even want to get into what should the return look like? Sure. What minor league system should Peter Bendix be eyeing? What is just your general thoughts when you did see this report over the last couple of days that possibly Edward Cabrera could be on the move?
Sure. So I will say rumblings and rumors have gotten harder and harder to track on social media in the last year and a half, because you've got a lot of people that just throw stuff at the wall.
Yes.
And it doesn't stick except for the wrong people, and that it sort of kind of sticks. So I'm very, very careful about who's doing the reporting. And I think Chris Kirshner, who writes for The Athletic, covering the Yankees, does a really nice job. I think Ken Rosenthal does a really nice job. And they were reporting that Edward Cabrera has been in trade conversations. So that's something that you look at and say, okay, the track record of reporting is certainly there. If Edward Cabrera is being discussed in trade conversations, I wholeheartedly understand why plenty of teams are interested, because this guy is coming off of his first season that he eclipsed 100 innings. He blew past 100 innings. He was just shy of 140, and it was a 3.5 ERA, and the strikeouts were there, and that curveball was maybe the best starting pitcher curveball in Major League Baseball. It was ridiculous. Listen, like, if the value is met, then the value is met. And what we applauded the Marlins for last year at the trade deadline was, if their value was not met on a certain trade target around the league, they were not going to trade that guy. They felt like the value was met for Jesus Sanchez. They felt like the value was met for Nick Fortes. They didn't feel like the value was met for someone that was reported to be, quote unquote, semi-available, like a Sandy Alcantara or an Anthony Bender. Those guys, their value was not met, so they didn't move. The only way Edward Cabrera does get moved is if Peter Bendix and the rest of the baseball operations department feels like the value is met for 140 innings at a 3.5 with 3 years of control and one of the best curveballs in Major League Baseball. So do not be scared. If this happens, then it's for a product that they deem incredibly valuable.
So again, we did want to address that. We could be with you over the next couple of days. If it does happen, we will do an emergency pod, get on here on StreamYard, get everyone's thoughts and reactions. But I think Jack hit it on the head. Edward Cabrera had a sensational 2025. And past the numbers, because I've been here the last couple of years, I think he grew into a boy, to a man. He had several man moments to me, staying in games. I remember him covering home plate on one of those night games at Lone Depot Park. One of those every game's a night game, Steven, almost everyone. But he had several moments where you said, aha, it clicked. So we will keep an eye on that. We will talk to you January 13th. We have another deep and distinguished guest lineup for you. Thanks to Adam Nichols, who is behind the scenes. We thank him. We thank our social media team for supporting this as well. Jack, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
It's good to be back. This 2-week layoff was a lot. So
I missed it.
This scratched the necessary itch. Great chat with Pete Fairbanks, never Peter. And looking forward to next week's show.
Go Canes?
Yes, go Canes. Who do they got? Thursday, that's Ole Miss.
Why the Thursday? Yeah, they're playing Ole Miss. I don't love the Thursday stuff.
Ole Miss look good.
What about the weekend?
I just want to say Ole Miss look good.
They did.
Oh, love it or leave it. Portal chaos.
No, hey, leave it.
I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Leave it.
40% of college football was in the portal.
January 13th, that's our next show. For Jack McMillan, I'm Steven Strom. Thanks for listening. Hot Stove Show is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We will talk